So I've come to the conclusion that this might just be a Wednesday thing. And it's okay. Like, I think Wednesdays are like the perfect way to do like a midweek clip, midweek unpack, check in with y'all, check in with myself, and kind of press through the the madness and the nonsense. So we'll utilize the time and do what it do. Today, I ain't gonna sit here and even make a story up. I am dragging, and I think these last few days it's been that way just because I'm still trying to get footing of my routine with things that I'm doing or trying to do and or trying to get accomplished. Case in point, yesterday I did a what I would call a test run or a trial run of um, doing my workout in the evening. I said, let me see if I can do an evening workout and see how that goes. I would say a 4 out of 10. I would go lower, but it did give the open portal for the daytime, which was a plus. But the trade off was just the simple fact that by the time I had gotten home, gotten settled, really didn't feel like doing much working out. So we will be sticking with the daytime flow of working out and everything. Um, Today, and I didn't notice it until yesterday, I'm pretty much doing close to 200 something jump rope, which that in and of itself is entertaining. Um, if any of you have or haven't been keeping up, I haven't talked about this too much, but the exercise flow personally is a strain. And it's only a strain for me just because of the simple fact that I legit have not had I've had healthy habits, but I've had chaotic healthy habits. And what I mean by that is I can almost use him as an example and it will make plenty of sense. A couple years ago, Chad Johnson or Chad Ochocinco has is and consistently was given this famous verbiage of his diet or his eating regimen, which is he went to McDonald's, he got certain foods, and with those foods, he made up for it by heavily working out. Now, everybody or every person isn't the same. Let's make no mistake about that. However, the biggest element of surprise is you have to work. You have to work as hard as your body needs it to be worked. So personally, I say this just due to the simple fact that for the last couple of weeks, I've had my personal disdain slash love hate relationship with workouts, with jumping rope, with even walking. But the reality is, I got to do it. It's non-negotiable. It's a it's becoming a very big deal in a very unique way. And one thing I will say, especially since doing this, is it forced a habit and or forced a routine that I didn't realize how much I needed it as it needed me. And the more that I've done these walks, the more that I'm able Like even when I did my in-person workout early this week, I my trainer brought it to my attention of my breathing, which to some people you think of it as like, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just breathing. You just breathing your nose out through your mouth, or breathing through your nose in through your mouth, or in through your nose out through your nose, or whatever. Like you consistently breathe. Well, even now, yes, I'm still going through and having my winded moments. I'm human, but it's it's getting better. It's gotten better, and it's going to continue to get better as I really make this a thing. My bad for the plane, but hey, it is what it is. I can't control everything. I'm also excited because this evening will be kind of a catapult to something I thought of doing, but haven't really put emphasis on doing, and that is to place effort towards really tapping in with software engineers. And let's face it, my role is somewhat not your typical software engineering role, but it is a software engineering role. So now what I would like to do is really connect with other software engineers locally. And this brings up my next topic, which I'm going to remember in just some bit. But there's a event going on. They've had an event set up for with this group for a couple of weeks. And each week I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go. But I really haven't like carved out time to actually go. So today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invest in myself. The investment has to start now. So I went ahead and joined a class, and hopefully we'll get some very useful tidbits of information. Yesterday, and like I said, you'll these are recorded every Wednesday. You'll probably hear them over the weekend. I don't know because my free time to edit content is not as free as it once was before for many reasons. But yesterday, I went back. I'm doing my best to try to get more of my podcast listens in, and I listened to Cal Newport, Deep Questions. And on his show, he kind of gave a summary. He had an overall unpack of his book, Digital Minimalism, which by the way, I have a physical and a digital copy. I purchased a physical copy and I acquired a digital copy online. If you know, you know. In his podcast, he talked about quite a few things. But one of the things that he brought up is finding ways to substitute what you're using that's distracting you with what you need to be doing. And the truth is, I know what I need to be doing, known it all along. A lot of people have not been keen of the simple fact that I will take a device, put it away, not respond, not look at it, not connect to it, etc., etc. Instagram I'm still keeping because one of my friends goes live pretty frequently online and stuff. Right now, um, goes live and talks about planning, talks about productivity, things of that sort. Ironically, she happened to call me yesterday, didn't answer. I think I was in the midst of working out or finishing up a workout. And what I did was because I didn't have my phone physically in front of me, was I attempted to go on the computer to see her live, but it wasn't up at the time when I went on and kind of missed each other, which it happened. But I'm starting the digital minimalism slash digital detox again, and I will probably be doing some journal impacts about it because day one, within my traditions, and it's so funny when you tell people like the apps that you're using, they're like, "I don't have TikTok, I don't use this, I don't have this," and it's so weird because everyone looks at it as get to where I'm at and use what I'm using, and I'm like, or I just use what I'm accustomed to using. Like I actually post videos on TikTok. Like I create content frequently on TikTok. The aha moment. So it's well, I kept like I said, I kept Instagram. I removed Facebook. I think I removed WhatsApp. I removed TikTok. I removed Threads. I removed X for Twitter. I removed LinkedIn. And so far, so far so good. Like it's not. I know it's kind of gonna be an obvious statement, but it's not as drastically adjusting as I expected it to be. But it is an adjustment. Even one of my friends like kind of got blindsided when I shared with her that I had taken Twitter off my phone, and she was like, "Are you leaving Twitter?" And I was like, "No, I'm not leaving Twitter." But then, preceding this conversation, the other moment was I decided to bring up the idea of connecting with journalers in the city. Of course, I run into someone who I know, and their first question is, "Well, how are you going to get it out there if you don't have social media?" And I'm like, this is what's so sad with us as people is anything that we promote or anything we push, it automatically has to go to, it's got to be pushed on social media. And it's like, technically, it doesn't. Like, you can really get a lot of things exposed or well connected without relying on an app or platform. And I've said this time and time again. And I feel like I'm a broken record the more I keep saying it. If the big apps close tomorrow and you're trying to find a way to get your business out there, how do you get your business out there? And most folks honestly have no clue. They have no type of I don't even want to say a safety net. They just don't know. Because as far as they're concerned, they've always done their promoting and their networking through these, what used to be networking platforms have now become corporations. And for a lot of people, that's still like an inadvertent aha moment. So as I near the end of this walk, I really want people to find their way to get themselves out there to other people. Because we all know folks have businesses, we all know folks have things that exist, But the bigger question becomes, how do you get what you're doing that exists out there to other people without reliability on a social media app? Because the truth is, that app can close tomorrow. And if the app shuts down tomorrow and you don't have a clue on how your business is going to get the exposure it needs, you're in trouble. And to make matters worse, to add insult to injury, I'm done with my walk, but this is kind of like an added piece to it. Many apps are now putting, in so many words, they're putting paywalls, which I'm not against a business making business, but consumers should not have to pay to be top dogs. You're already having to do that enough as it is if you're building through a website. But most people will do the influencer way. The influencer way is cool, but the influencer way is very tricky because the influencer way basically means I'm going to make a flow code, a link tree, make a page that's going to reference you to all of my other pages. And at times that can be good, but at times that can also be bad. And I'm even saying this to myself as I'm getting ready to finish this up. Something as small as your podcast, like my podcast is hosted by Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout gives you, in so many words, they give you a website. Now, the website isn't a free website, but it is a website nonetheless. Well, let me backtrack. It's a free website, but it's not a www page. It is a like preset Buzzsprout link that you can customize once you get a pro account with them. So you're back to the initial topic behind a paywall. The disadvantage to that is someone decides to acquire Buzzsprout. Now, how do you get your podcast on a platform and not have to rely on Buzzsprout being your host? Because in so many words, the monthly subscription that I'm paying for, anyone who has different podcast platforms is paying for, is the hosting service. The advantage and or disadvantage for a lot of people is um, sponsorship. A lot of people have a lot of sponsors, a lot of people backing and supporting their business. Even one of the bigger podcasters has said in her promotion, or as she's going into break, she'll say, we're gonna get our fine sponsors to come in and help us with promoting a few things because that's how we don't have to pay anything to get this done. And when you hear messages like that, it's like this could be something that I'm able to do or can work on doing. And I'm still in that like infancy stage with it. Like, people have known personally that I've been recording and doing podcasts for 7, almost 8 years, but really pushing it to be a thing like it needs to be now has probably been one of my biggest challenges. So I say all that just to say I value my time and my break that I'm taking right now. A lot of others may not be fond of it, but I've learned and I've realized too, everything is not about everyone else. Sometimes it's more about you than about them. And you have to personally be okay with that. So this break will be challenging, but I need the break in order for me to excel at what I'm trying to do, not only as a content creator, but also just as an individual. Because I've started to see lately that my biggest pushes have been tech, predominantly software engineering, entrepreneurship, business productivity, planning, and journaling. And to my point, or what I was saying earlier, is I'm looking to start a group. I said it already, but trying to find journalists or other journalers in the city who would like to just have a space and just come together and just journal. Um, Not sure how I'm going to do this, and I have not figured out any of the intangibles or details. I haven't even like written out a mind map of any sort because I'm at like literally the infancy stage of it. Uh, but I know that I need to do it, and I feel like people in the city need it. I don't want to make it inclusive. I don't want to say it is like, oh, it's only for men or it's only for black men. I want to make it for people to come out and have some mellow music playing, kind of give folks like a 30 minute to an hour space of just journaling. Um, Probably going to have a layered process that I think a lot of people may be blindsided by, which is no phones. And when I say no phones, I mean it's going to be an area you have to sit your phone, put it on silent. Now, there's always exceptions because if you got kids, you got urgent things, fully understandable. But for the most part, giving people the ability to realize that, hey, I can give my phone a rest and I need to give my mind more attention because I personally have noticed that in times of me knowing that there are things that I need to do, the biggest distraction that doesn't even have to be a distraction is the phone. Uh, when I started my workout journey nearly a year ago, that was one of my things that I was very emphatic about is like the damn phone. And I fluctuated back and forth about interacting, not being interactive, creating content, not creating content, posting online all the time, not posting online all the time. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm posting a lot of things. I'm getting the engagement, but I'm not prioritizing what I need to take care of. And this is really going to be my last thought. We are treating the space that we have here on earth as home, and it's not. This is our residency. Um, my friend did we were taught, I kind of had like an open forum with him when I was doing, before I did my workout earlier this week. And in the process of talking with him, we got into that conversation and he had to kind of break it down to me on a personal level where it's like where you are, it's a residency. That's not your home. It's not your personal place. And I was like, you know what? I need to remember that and I need to take heed to that. But taking heed to it from the physical aspect is cool, but taking heed to it from a realistic standpoint is where it comes down to. And that was actually one of the last statuses I posted online is that we're so trapped and engulfed on like the world and us living and this being home. And it's like we are here for a very brief period of time. Like, and brief period could be 70 some years. Brief period could be 20 some years. Brief period could be less than 10 years old. Like there are some people who have made impacts on the world under 10 or even older being involved in situations or circumstances that just don't math. There might be a horn coming up in a second, but I knew it. But even in those spaces being what they are, the moments of the time we have here is very temporary. And we should really be planning for our bigger plan, which is to put ourselves in a better position to grow and evolve and become the best version of ourselves. So that's all I got for y'all. I know I like went into like a huge ramble, way more than the 15-minute initial allotment, but we're gonna get to it and we're gonna get active. We got a great day ahead, and yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. There won't be a podcast Saturday, so whenever y'all hear this, you won't hear one on Saturday, but um, we'll be definitely pressing and pushing content. So until next time.